Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Newcastle could still move for magnificent Premier League start this summer. Journalist Bennett Jacobs has labeled Arsenal star Kieran Tierney as one to watch for Newcastle United this summer. Jacobs spoke to GiveMeSport and provided an update on Eddie Howe's search for a new left back. Newcastle have enjoyed a promising start to the summer window, having already snapped up Sandro Tonali, while Harvey Barnes is also closing in on a switch to James Park. Howe will be keen to bolster his squad ahead of Newcastle's return to the Champions League, and bringing in competition for Dan Burn seems to be a priority. Of course, Newcastle have been heavily linked with a move for Kieran Tierney. Indeed, the Telegraph reported back in March that Howe is a long-term admirer of the Arsenal fullback, and despite Newcastle's interest in Southampton's Tino Livramento, it seems they could still move for Tierney this summer. Jacobs claims that Tierney is yet to make a decision over his Arsenal future after the Scotland international struggled for minutes last season. He said, Kieran Tierney is one to watch as far as left backs are concerned at Newcastle. There has been a long-standing interest. Arsenal have to understand whether Tierney is happy with his diminished game time and prepared to stay at the club, or alternatively would like to go somewhere where he might be a starting left back. Until the player decides, Newcastle won't move in any kind of concrete sense, but there is also a possibility that Tierney is available in the market. I would expect Newcastle to move for a left back because there is a starting spot potentially available, even though Dan Burn is liked and popular at the football club. Mikel Arteta assesses Jurrien Timber after Arsenal versus Manchester United. Arsenal lost out in their friendly with Manchester United last night in front of a bumper crowd at the MetLife Stadium in the USA. Of course, results matter little at this stage, and Arsenal did have a number of new faces in the side as Mikel Arteta looked to tinker with things a tad. One of the new faces to get minutes was Dutch defender Jurrien Timber. The former Ajax man is expected to play a key role this season in multiple positions. And speaking on Timber after the game, Mikel Arteta was more than happy with what he saw from his new signings. He said, with Jurrien, we are really pleased with his performance and the things we asked him to do. Obviously, he is adapting really quickly to the team, and you could see the confidence, the determination that he plays with. Timber has been signed as a fullback in the main, but having stepped into midfield for Ajax as well, is expected to give Arteta food for thought. Mikel Arteta loves himself a versatile player, and Jurrien Timber ticks so many boxes for Arsenal right now. The Dutchman will be just fine this season. He is already looking settled in after just a few weeks, and as the season progresses, he will only get better. Of course, Arteta will be keen to see his side win their next outing, but on the whole, he will be happy that Timber and others are getting minutes in the tank. Arteta knows his team has a plan to work on in the next few weeks. Integrating three new signings straight into the starting lineup won't be easy. It will be interesting to see how Arsenal line up in their next friendly against Barcelona on Thursday. Arteta not happy on Arsenal's defeat to Man United. We hate to lose. Arsenal's preseason preparations took a setback last night as the Gunners were beaten 2-0 by possible title rivals Man United in America in front of a packed 82,000 crowd. It seemed obvious that Arteta's team was not as fully prepared as our opponent, but the boss is trying to integrate new players and new tactics ahead of the crucial season ahead. Of course, Arteta was not a happy man, and he said after the game, having a tough match of this level in this context gives you a lot of information, and that's always very positive. That information is obviously there are a lot of things we have to improve, how important the boxes are, that errors are part of football, you have to overcome them as well, and how painful it's to lose a game. Physically, it's been super demanding. Some players we want to expose a little bit more than they have done because the way we want to build them, their physical state, overall, they had their moment when they were so efficient. We had ours when we had more dominance, and we certainly tried again in the second half, but the chances we had, we didn't convert them, and they won the game. When asked what he learned from the game, he replied, that I hate to lose, and we all hate to lose. That is the biggest lesson, that I don't like losing, and I don't like the feeling that I have right now. So the boys have to train right now in that space, thinking how we are going to be better to win the next match. Pounded unimpressed with the 24-year-old Arsenal player, he forgot he was on the pitch. New Arsenal signing Kai Havertz had a game to forget against Manchester United last night. Mikel Arteta's side were defeated 2-0 before losing a penalty shootout after the 90 minutes was completed. Pounded Ben Thornley, commentating on the match, was unimpressed by the 24-year-old German international. Arteta named a very strong side to face Manchester United last night, with only a couple of players missing from what is expected to be his best team. Aside from Zinchenko at left back and Gabriel Jesus up front, the rest of the side could easily be the starting 11 on the opening day of the Premier League. Kai Havertz was playing in the left-sided midfield position and was selected alongside Declan Rice for the first time. However, Havertz struggled to make any sort of impact on the game, lasting 70 minutes before being substituted. Manchester United did well to thwart plenty of Arsenal's players, including Havertz. He managed just 14 passes while on the pitch and failed to complete a dribble. His defensive output was poor, although it did improve after the break. Speaking about the 24-year-old, Ben said, I have to say, as much as we haven't mentioned Garnacho, we haven't mentioned Kai Havertz either. In fact, I forgot he was even on the pitch for Arsenal. He's been anonymous in these opening 18-19 minutes. There were questions marks before Arsenal signed Havertz about what position Mikel Arteta would play him in. He never thrived as a centre forward at Chelsea and always looked more suited to playing in a deeper role. However, if Arsenal can't get Havertz on the ball like yesterday against Man United, then he will quickly become a passenger. Sky Sports journalist now makes a claim about Arsenal and Romeo Lavia. Arsenal have had a seriously impressive transfer window so far, and they may not be done yet. Indeed, while the Gunners have already spent around £200 million, their coffers may soon be boosted by some big-name departures. The likes of Folarin Balogun, Kieran Tierney and Thomas Partey may still move for decent fees this summer, and if Arsenal recoup big money, Arsenal may dip back into the market. Romeo Lavia is one player the Gunners have been linked with, and according to Darmish Sheth, speaking on the Transfer Talk podcast, Arsenal could revisit this one if they sell one of their midfielders for good money. Sheth shared what he knows about the Belgian. Southampton's Romeo Lavia is a name that will not go away. Chelsea have looked at him as well, and there has been talk about Arsenal, but I think Arsenal will only look into the midfield department and recruit again after spending over £200 million if there is a departure for good money in that midfield. Sheth says that Arsenal may dip back into the market if they sell a midfielder for good money, and there is every chance that comes to pass. Indeed, Thomas Partey has been strongly linked with a move away from the Emirates, and if the budget and the space opens up in this Arsenal squad, a move for Lavia could make sense. Of course, Liverpool and Chelsea have also been linked, so this deal may be difficult for Arsenal to do, but after making a few blockbuster signings already this summer, you can't back against the Gunners getting this one done as well. Arsenal could now make bid for £34 million player that William Saliba knows well. Arsenal could be ready to make a bid for Monaco defender Axel Disasi if he becomes available this summer. A report from The Sun has shared more information on the French international's future. Axel Disasi has been linked with a move to the Premier League already this summer. Newcastle United and Manchester United are reportedly interested in the 25-year-old. He is already a French international, which is very impressive given the options manager Didier Deschamps has available to him. Disasi was part of the France squad that reached the final of the World Cup last year. He spent plenty of time on the bench with William Saliba, who also traveled to Qatar but failed to play many minutes. Mikel Arteta has already made significant improvement to his Arsenal squad this summer. Declan Rice could be a game-changing signing for the Gunners, while Kai Havertz has potential that was untapped at Chelsea. Arsenal could potentially bid for Disasi, but Jurrien Timber's arrival may make that less likely now. The Dutch defender played at right back against Manchester United yesterday, but is comfortable playing as a centre back too. The report from The Sun states that Monaco may end up selling Disasi at some point this summer. If they do, Manchester United are on alert, but Chelsea and Arsenal could be ready to nip in with a bid. At this time, it seems very unlikely that Arsenal would make a move for another defender this summer. Signing Timber provides even more cover in a squad filled with defenders. However, there are several players who could move on before the window closes. Kieran Tierney, Cedric Soares, and Rob Holding could all leave this summer. Disasi mainly plays as a centre back, and a bid from Arsenal would likely be connected to Holding's future. Arsenal could sign incredible forward ahead of Chelsea. Arsenal are very much in the mix when it comes to signing Ajax's Mohamed Kudus, who is also wanted by Chelsea. The Gunners are believed to want Kudus to come in and challenge Bukayo Saka, as well as give them a further attacking option. However, Chelsea are also keen, and David Ornstein has reported that the Blues are now open to landing Kudus. But speaking to Team Talk, respected Arsenal journalist Charles Watts has suggested that Kudus is very much open to signing for the Gunners. He told Team Talk, Kudus is definitely a player that they like. I have seen the recent report that they are potentially looking to step up that interest a bit later on in the window, which wouldn't surprise me if that is the case. I still think they are probably looking at adding at least one more player before the deadline, and Kudus ticks a lot of boxes in terms of what they would look to bring in. He can cover on that right-hand side of the attack, which is absolutely a priority for Arsenal. He is versatile, which is again an absolute must if you are going to sign for Arsenal nowadays under Mikel Arteta. Arsenal have a decent working relationship with Ajax after what they did with Timber, which might help them in that regard, and it seems like Kudus is quite open to the move. Arsenal have already signed Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber and Declan Rice this summer, while the Gunners also tied a number of players down to fresh contracts. Mohamed Kudus is the sort of player who gets you off your feet, and there is little wonder Arsenal and Chelsea like him. Kudus has shown for Ajax and did well in the World Cup last winter as well. An incredible attacking player, the Ghanaian would have no issues in adapting to the Premier League. This one could be down to who blinks first and pays up, as Watt says. Arsenal have a good relationship with Ajax, but Chelsea, as we know, are a problem in windows under Todd Bowley. Arsenal could use 15-goal star in a deal to sign a 24-year-old. Arsenal are reportedly interested in signing the French international attacker Kylian Mbappe in 2024. According to a report from Football Transfers, the Gunners are keeping tabs on the 2018 World Cup winner, and they could look to make a move for him next summer. Mbappe is in the final year of his contract, and he has refused to sign a new deal with Paris Saint-Germain. PSG have now decided to put him up for sale, and it will be interesting to see if he ends up leaving this summer. The report claims that Arsenal are hoping to use Gabriel Martinelli as a make weight in the deal to sign the 24-year attacker. Mbappe is one of the best players in the world, and he could prove to be a quality acquisition for the North London club. Although Martinelli has been outstanding for Arsenal this past season, and he scored 15 goals in the Premier League, Mbappe would certainly be an upgrade on the Brazilian. The Paris Saint-Germain forward scored 41 goals across all competitions last season, and he could be available for a knockdown price in January. The player will be available to secure a pre-contract agreement with foreign clubs during the winter transfer window, and Arsenal will be hoping to snap him up on a bargain. It remains to be seen whether PSG are prepared to sanction his departure midway through the campaign in order to avoid losing him on a free transfer. Mbappe has been linked with clubs like Liverpool and Real Madrid as well. Now, there will be a lot of rumors about Mbappe. It remains to be seen what will happen with this transfer saga. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.